Hello everyone, this is Tariq from Bloggers Bloom. Well, I've got an article coming up on the HTML tags that's actually required for digital marketers, and I'm not going to be going through all the different tags. These are 6 basic HTML tags which every digital marketer would probably require when creating a blog. So I've got an article also coming up on this. I thought I'll quickly have a small little video created on the same. Now, a few tags which we will be discussing are: one is the anchor tag, that is basically how to create hyperlinks. The second is basically your heading tags. Now, you'd probably, every time you're maybe optimizing an article for the SEO purpose, your blog article, you'd probably have seen one of the prerequisites in your on-page SEO is that you have to have H1 tags or heading tags. So now we will actually just quickly mention about what exactly heading. These are very simple. This thought will have sometimes the very simple things are what we get omit on. So I thought I'll probably just go across all these. So the heading tags. Then next we have basically what is a simple paragraph tag. Then your image tag, your line break, and your list tags. How do you create bullet points and basically your number and bullet points, all those. Now, I've explained all these in the article. Nevertheless, this is a small little, this is a rough, small little practical class as well. Now, so to begin with, I've given a link for this. This is an editor which you can actually get a link on from W3 Schools. The link of which is also available in my the article that I've actually come out with. So this is a typical HTML code which actually is there. You'll find this in enormous audio browsers. If you right click on the browser page, you'll get to see, for instance, if my particular Bloggers Bloom website, if I just right click on this and then go to view page source, you will see that the entire HTML code is actually there. While we do not have to write these kind of codes these days with your tools like WordPress and the other CMS which is available, it makes life really easy. So nevertheless, this is how the HTML editor is. And if you want to make any changes over here, let's say this is a heading, this particular text. I will just go and say this is my page heading. And if you just click on run here, is this comes in over here. Now it's not grammatically correct. This is my page heading. All right. So now I will go through the various tags that we're actually talking about. The first tag, of course, is what I've said is the anchor tag. Now let's say this is particular the text that I want to have a hyperlink on. Click here to visit Bloggers Bloom. Now the link for which is basically link is actually my website URL. Now how do I go ahead and create this? So for which you have something called as the anchor tag. Now HTML has a number of tags. I mentioned this in my article. So you've got this A is basically called an anchor tag, and what you find along with it, that's basically your href. That is a hypertext reference. That is where is it being referenced to, where is it getting linked to. So that is where you include your link as well, which will come in double quotes. So if I would like to have a link for this particular text, all I will have to do is this: write a href, the particular link, and close it with a /a. So I'll explain this over here. I'll copy this particular text to begin with. Click here to visit, and we'll go to our editor here. What I'll do is I will first type in over here. So this is basically what you need to be linked. So you open A, and at the end you close the A tag. Got it? So you can see most of the tags around over here. For every open tag, there is a close tag also over here. Now you have a title over here, and you have a close title as well. Now this is basically what you find in the browser. Now let's say all these you can see on top is written notepad, online notepad, courses, articles, subscribers, ConvertKit, online courses. So all these are basically your page titles. So how does it come? This is how it actually appears. You write the title tag within your head, within the header of your particular HTML code. So now the same way, coming back to this particular tag, the A tag, we open an A tag and we close an A tag. So which basically means that this is the beginning of the link and the end of the link. There's nothing beyond this which has to be linked. Now over here, for the tag, there is something called an attribute. So for this, the attribute is ahref is equal to double quotes. I mean, open and close the quotes. All right. So this is basically hypertext reference. H for hypertext, ref for reference. So that is basically where are we referencing this? Where do we want this to be linked? So I'm going to be putting my website link here, bloggersbloom.com. So I've got an A href https bloggersbloom.com. So this text will get linked. So now I'll just click on run. There you go. You can see that the link has been created for this particular text. Now, in some cases, you also have a link for an image. How do you actually go ahead and do that? So now, while image is also one of the tags which I will be explaining, but I think I will go ahead and explain it within this same example. So I'll just copy this particular code and I'll paste it over here. So for any image, the actual tag for image is img. That's it. Okay, img. But just img will not actually help. What you require is basically the image source as well. You can see over here, I've written the image source. So you basically have to call a particular, you have to show an image, right? The name of the image. So that comes under the attribute called src is equal to, in again open and close quotes. This is where you include the source of the image. Now, the next is basically what is the width of the image. That is another attribute. What is the height of the image, and what is the alt text. Alt text, again, you would probably have seen on one of the factors for the on-page SEO is that you need to give your alt text for each of the images. That's basically just in case while a browser is loading, your image doesn't load, doesn't come across, then Google would like, the search engines like it that you give an alternate text for that particular image. Show a text instead. It's basically an alternate text instead of the image. Show a text. That is what this is called, of alt text. Now, if let's say for example this particular file that you actually have is residing in the same folder and you have an image called name of image, I'm just giving you a sample image, name of image.jpg. This is how you type it out. Let's say you have an image which is located elsewhere. So what we would do is I'll just go ahead and we can take any particular image. Let's say on which website. Let's try and see if we can take the Google URL itself. Can we get the image over here? All right. So you can see this copy image address. I'll just copy this image address and I'll come in over here. And within the source, I will include the URL. That's basically what I've just copied over there and I've included here. Now I'll put the alt text as Google. While you really don't have to put the width and height, I will explain that a little later. So we've just put in the source and we have put the alt text. Let's run this now. There you go. You can see your image, your Google is just calling that particular image right now. Now everything is coming in one line. So let's just add a line break for this, or let's put a paragraph for this. So you can see this paragraph which is coming in over here. Let's put the same thing. So let's say we open P and we close P. All right, the same thing. This anyway, I'll remove this because we do not require this now. And again here, I can open P and close P. All right, now let's run it. There you go. Can you see it's all come in separate lines? So this is what a P stand for, a paragraph. It gives all neatly, you can separate it into different paragraphs. There's also something called as a line break, which is this basically BR. Now BR is one such tag where you don't require a closing tag or /BR. Some programming languages wouldn't mind you actually putting this as a good practice, but it is actually not required. So you can just have a BR over here, and if you run it, you will see there's another piece of line space which is added in over here. So now let's say you right click on this Google image, open image in new tab. Now if you just hover over the browser tab, you will get to see the width and height of the image. So this is one way you can see it's written 272 into 92. So basically a width of 272, height of 92. So that's one way how you can get the size of the image. And this is 92. I hope I got it right. 272 by 92. That's right. So it really wouldn't make a change even if you run right now, because like I said, if you do not include the width and the height, it automatically takes the default size of the image. Now let's say you wanted to reduce the width of the image to maybe 100, but you know what is called an aspect ratio, right? So if you have a particular ratio of the image, now if the width reduces, the height automatically takes a particular width ratio, and otherwise what happens is the image usually gets smudged. Now let's say if I had put height as well 100 and I run, you'll see a stretch, or see how it is compressed. It doesn't really look good. So there's always an aspect ratio for the image. Width is to height is always constant. So let's say you don't know the exact height for the image if it has a width of 100. So in such cases, what you do is just remove the height and then just keep the width alone. And you see, it is perfectly fine even now. So you don't have to, even if the other way around, if all what you know is, let's say the height, you had to get the logo sitting in a particular height, maybe in your top bar or somewhere, and you really don't know the height of the width, what has to be there, but you are sure that the height has to be maybe about 50 pixels or something. So you run it again, there you go, it automatically takes the width of this. So now coming back, we wanted to have the same link. So what I will do is I will copy the same ahref and I will paste it to the image, and also I will have the /a put towards the end of the image. So what are we doing right now? We are basically just adding a link to this particular image as well. Now if I go ahead and run, you will see at the bottom it is hovering to bloggersbloom.com. Got it? So this is how you create a link for an image as well. Now, another thing is, let's say you have this particular text and you wanted to have this link open in a new window. There are sometimes that you want the link to open in the same window, or sometimes you want it to open in a new window. Typically, when I think you don't want someone to leave your website, you want them to continue reading your website articles and maybe go to another article within your website, or maybe even outside the website. In such cases, what you do is you want them to go into a new window without closing the parent window. So what you do is you create a space here, you write target, that's basically you're targeting, again open and close the quotes, and type in _BLANK, which is basically stating that open a new window, open a blank new window. And now let's say run, and when you open it, it opens a brand new window. All right. So this is basically how you can actually include. Now I've explained to you how you can create a link, how you can open a brand new window as well by adding this target_blank, how you can add a image, the paragraph tag, the break tag. So that's basically most of it, what I've actually covered in this one example. There you go. Is the first is basically your anchor tag, which we have covered. Then the headings, I will just cover this right now. Paragraph is something which I've already covered. The image is also covered. BR, the line break, that has been covered as well. Now, before we go into the last one of the list tags, I will quickly cover this particular heading tag. So let's say we go back over here. I will remove all these, whatever we do not require, which we have completed. I'll just delete all this. We have already got one H tag over here. So now I'll just make some few changes so it becomes easy for you all to understand it. So this is my H1 heading, and I'll just copy this and paste it another 5 times. Have I copied it 5 times? 3, 6, yes. So I'll just change it to H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. So we've got 6 H heading tags, and I have to close it as well. So /H2, /H3, /H4, /H5, and /H6. And I'll just change this as well so we know what we're 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, now I'll go ahead and run it. There you go. You see the difference in the heading sizes. So this is basically what your heading sizes are. And typically when you are optimizing a content, the heading tag for your article, the first tag you really require one H1 tag, and that is basically, this is how you do it of an H1 tag. Whatever you require, the title comes within the open and close H1 tags. All right. So now the last tag which I really want to explain, basically your list tags. Now this is basically how you create bullet tags or your numbered tags. So there are two types of, in fact, three types of list tags. One is OL, another is UL, and the last one is DL. Now OL is basically ordered list, your unordered list, and your descriptive list. So these are the three different kinds of lists. We will just go through these now. let's say I'll again, for this example, I'll remove this particular heading tags now, and I'll paste this tags over here. So this is basically your ordered list. Now I'll go ahead and run it. There you go. Can you see 1, 2, 3 is basically how many ever lists you want. You can just keep copying this and adding it. Let's say you want these. Let's say this will be your option 4 and option 5, and go ahead and run it. There you go. Option 4 and 5 has come. So this is basically your ordered list. Now let's say you've actually created a list. Let's say, okay, you've created this, and now I've got some description which I've written over here, description, and then I've got one more. It's basically a continuation of this top list. Now what happens is, if you run it, you'll get to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then description, and again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But what if this was actually option 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10? So then what happens is, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 to 5. You've again got 1 to 5 here, but your options are 6 to 10. So how do you change this 1 to 6? So for that, what you do is, in your OL, you just include an attribute called start is equal to, again open and close the quotes, is equal to 6. You're basically telling the list to start from the number 6. Now if you run it, there you go. You have the list starting from 6 all the way to 10, which actually corresponds with your options over here as well. So that is how you create an ordered list and basically create the numbers also. Now the same thing goes for your unordered list. So you don't need this. All I will do is I'll just change this to UL, and over here close UL. Now what happens then is, when you do run it, you see the bullets over here. Again, there are different types of characters which you can also check on Google. You can again do type is equal to, maybe you want a round bullet, or you want a square, or maybe you want some other ASCII codes. You can copy those ASCII codes and include it over here as well. So all those is actually possible in the list. Now the final one is basically called a descriptive list. Now I'll just copy this. This is basically if you want heading and subheaders and those kind of options, that can be used using this particular code. Now what I've done is, I've said DL, please note this, DL, and then I've got DT, and then I've got DD, 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 then again DT, DD, DD, DD. Now it will be clear once I run this. You get to see this is digital marketing, which I've actually written as my type. Under that, the descriptive 1, 2, and 3. So digital marketing is my main heading. Then I've got 3 subheaders. Then again, you've got make money online, which is again over here, which is a DT, and then DD, DD, and DD, which all you have to end it with a slash tag as well. So this is how you can create those kind of lists wherein you have a heading and then a subheader where you want to have a tab indent into it. So this is how you create it. So I hope this has been useful. This is basically just 6 HTML codes, basic HTML tags which you require, and which almost, yes, not only digital marketer, maybe if you're writing a blog also, if you're using some of those editors which don't, most of the editors have your indent and your bullet points and your paragraph, most of them are actually available. But there are cases when maybe within a certain area, even for that matter, if my page builder, in some page builders you have the option of copying the text, but then they don't allow you an HTML tag to be included. They allow you to include HTML tag, but they don't give you the feature of including it. You don't have the tools to include it. So in such cases you can include this tags. So that's why the basic knowledge is always helpful. So I hope this has been of help, and I'll include the link of the article also in the description. If you like it, as always, please give a thumbs up. Thank you so much. And please do subscribe if you haven't. Thanks a lot.